Hey folks, so we have a big problem to deal with today. So a few days ago I was out messing around with the dogs and I saw Stoat running around by the outdoor kitchen. So I originally saw him over here. I saw his tail flopping around in here, and once the dogs got on him, the dogs pushed him up underneath the outdoor kitchen. And they had him in there for about 5 minutes or so. At one point, Matcha had got him cornered up over here. You could hear him hissing and things. But eventually, the dogs ran around to the other side, and he ran from here across and dove up underneath the chicken coop. And that presented a whole set of new problems for us because the chicken coop is open to the chicken run. So once the Stoat got underneath here, we only have chicken wire, so that Stoat could easily come into the chicken run. So when I saw that happen, and thank God I did, I was able to get all the chickens into the coop. We closed them up, and then for the next 2 days, they stayed in the coop. They had to stay in the coop because Jen and I were going to do her craft fair, and we weren't going to be home, so we didn't want the chickens out. So now that we're home, we went ahead and let them out. I did a check around. I did not see any new tracks, and I did set up an additional trap, and that's good. So the only set of tracks that I've seen is him leaving. So at some point he came out from underneath the stairs, ran over here along the backside of the old coop, and here are his tracks as he then went out across the road. Now I'm having some problems with my truck, and so yesterday to help Jen and I with our craft fair, we asked our neighbor to borrow his truck, and he was gracious enough to let us do so. And on the way home last night from dropping his truck off at his place, we saw a Stoat run across our road. So what that tells me is that we have a family of Stoats in the area, and it's time for us to really buckle down and eliminate that problem. Now the problem with Stoats is that they're small. They camouflage very well in the snow because they turn white. And once they find a place to feed, they typically stick around for a while. A couple years ago, we eliminated quite a few of them, and then they were gone. And so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making some Stoat traps. We're going to be setting them around strategically to try and entice them to go to the trap as opposed to going to the chicken coop. Now, we don't take this lightly. We do understand that when I say that we need to eliminate the threat from our chickens, we have to get rid of them. We can't simply just deter them. Deterrence works, but what we've learned here in Maine is that Stoats are our number one predator for our chickens. The reason I say that, and that might not be the case where you are, but where we are, you know, the larger critters, the dogs, do an incredible job of keeping them away from the yard. So raccoons, fishers, coyotes, fox, bobcat, things like that. We don't have those issues here. We have them in the woods, but we don't have them here in the yard, and that is because of the dogs. But the Stoats, they're a little different. See, they can hide. There's a lot of places here they can hide too, and they do. And so we have to be diligent in protecting our chickens from these little devils. Since I'm working in the shop today for this project, I'm gonna go ahead and get a fire going because it is really freaking cold in here. So hopefully it'll just knock out the chill. Again, I'm using my homemade fire starters. I basically just light it. I'm gonna let it kind of catch, burn down a minute, then we'll stick it in the stove. All right, so we're going to be building some Stoat traps, and they are really really simple to build. I'm gonna start cutting a couple of pieces here, get these things ready to go, and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so I've got 4 pieces of scrap wood here, and what I want to do is basically just build a small wooden box. This trap is not fancy by any stretch of the imagination. It is very, very simple to build. Now, I wish I could tell you that I came up with this design. I did not. This actually was brought to our attention by our good friend Hippie Chick Off Grid. She's the one who gave us this idea of making a shoebox trap. With that original concept, we came up with this design. Okay, so for the front door, it's basically just a piece like this with an opening cut out, and the opening is going to be near the top. And the reason is because we're going to have our trap inside. We want the stoat to come up and then drop into the trap, and that way it's a little bit harder for them to see the trap, and yeah, it just seems to be an effective way of doing it. So what you're left with then is a box that kind of looks like this. Now, I'm not worried about the lid because I'm just going to take a piece of scrap wood and just lay it on top. I need to be able to lift the wood off so I can see and pull the trap and set and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and build a few more of these. Be right back. On a side note, this wood stove here does not make this shop hot, but it definitely has changed the temperature in here. You know, the intent was never to completely heat this shop up to a nice, 70 degrees for the entire day. I mean, the building's not insulated. You can see through the door. The whole intent was just to knock the chill down and give me a place where I could warm up, and it's done that. All right, so we've got our 3 basic traps set up. So the next step now is I'm going to go ahead and get the traps, and we will get them set, and I'll show you how it's done. So the type of trap that we have that we're going to use is a Blake and Lamb number 1. That's the size that we're using. It's simply a foothold trap. Make sure that when you're doing this that you're careful. You don't want this thing to snap on you. I've been fortunate enough to never have it snap on me, but I don't think it's a question of if as much of a question as when. I hope you guys can see this. We'll angle that down a little bit. Okay, so that is set. All right, so basically this trap will be in this box. The little stoat is going to come in here. He's going to jump down, and when he jumps, that is really tight there. We're going to go ahead and get some bait. We're going to move these out to where we want to set them and get them set. So we know that the stoats like the lumber yard. We know that they like to be in here. The dogs come in here quite a bit when the stoats are around. So we're going to set up a trap here to make sure that the dogs don't get into it. We're going to take this broken cinder block, put it up in the front to kind of block the entrance, and then we're going to put a block on top of the trap as well. So I'm going to go ahead and set the trap. We'll get it inside and we'll bait it and get this one ready. Best bait we have found are hot dogs. Plop that at the back of the box so that the stoat has to go through the box, through the trap to get to the bait. All right, so the stoat will come in from this way, go around here, go into the box. There's the trap, and the bait is over here at the back of the box. So pretty simple design. All right, so that is set, and we'll see what we get. Our number 1 job as a livestock owner is to protect our animals. And that could be livestock, that could be our dogs, our cats, our pets. But it is our duty and responsibility to provide safety to our animals. And this is no different. The reason Jen and I did not get chickens until last year is for that very reason. See, we knew We wanted chickens and goats and, you know, the whole 9 yards. We want turkeys one day. But we also knew that in order for us to have all these animals, we'd have to be able to take care of them. And unfortunately, we were just not in a position to do that when we first arrived here in Maine. So we took our time. We have built up the infrastructure for our property. Over the course of doing that, it has given us the opportunity to have everything ready so that when we had our animals, we could take care of them. And that's very important to Jen and I, is maintaining the safety of the animals. And so, yeah, that's why we haven't had them until recently. So here's the coop and run. And since we had the Stoat over underneath the outdoor kitchen, we put a trap right there. I am terribly sorry for all the sniffling and nonsense you might be hearing, but it is cold. It's cold. It's been cold. Winter's definitely here. Don't let the lack of snow fool you. We are in it. And now that I am done putting the traps out, I feel a lot better knowing that we're doing everything we can to help protect our chickens. I mean, I can't stress it enough. Living here in the woods, everything wants to kill them. Everything does. And it gets worse in the wintertime because food gets scarce out in the woods. And so we have to do everything we can to help protect them. They can handle their own to an extent. I mean, the reality is Stoat gets in there, we're gonna lose our chickens, and we're not gonna allow that to happen. All right, well, it is an absolutely gorgeous day, and now that we have protected our flock as best as possible, I am going to go inside, hang out with Jen, eat some lunch, enjoy this beautiful day that we're having here in Northeast Maine. If you folks have any questions or any comments, please drop them down below. We're not an open book, but we try to be as transparent as we possibly can, because at the end of the day, we're no different than you folks. The only difference is that we decided to put ourselves out on YouTube so that folks who are coming up here can learn from our mistakes and from our successes. All right, folks, well, with that said, I'm going inside to warm up, grab myself a nice cup of coffee. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications. We'll see you folks on the next video. Out here at Hanbleceya Ranch, we live off the land. Slow mornings, hard work, and handmade everything.
Every blanket, every pumpkin, every little creation, it all starts here, right on our homestead.
We don't mass produce, we handcraft. Each piece carries the story of Maine's changing seasons, made with care, made to last.
So if you love cozy things that feel real, visit HanbleceyaRanch.com.
From our homestead to your home, thanks for supporting Handmade.